So my guy Cam was asking a question concerning pretty much the writings of Genesis and later the KVJ, King James Version, as far as how it describes God. And this brings us into the theory of the E-text, J-text, D-text, and P-text. This theory was proposed in the mid-1800s by a German researcher, Julius Wellhausen. And Julius Wellhausen broke down kind of with the question that you're asking, that Elohim meaning gods. The second version used Jehovah or Jehovah Elohim, meaning gods of the gods. In the King James Version as Lord God. Is this true? Well, it's true of the theory. And the theory goes as such. Around the mid-1800s, Wellhausen theorized that there had to be earlier sources, and that these sources, because of the inconsistencies and the change in language, the change in writing style, the change in storytelling, that these books or portions of these books, meaning the first books that are ascribed to Moses, the Pentateuch, were written by different authors at different time frames. So you had different people groups who were authoring these books. So just to focus on the J-text and P-text, J-text and E-text, which will talk about Elohims and the book of Genesis, and some of those those inconsistencies are, you got the first chapter of Genesis where it says man and woman were created on the sixth day and were told to replenish in the originals, but now it says fill the earth. And then you get to a whole nother creation story in the second chapter. It is theorized that the Elohists wrote the first chapter and the Yahwists wrote the second chapter, because of the different writing styles and two different creations, two different tellings of a creation. One where man and woman were created at the same time, another one where man and woman were created separately, which is also, we're still getting the idea of Lilith that I did a video on the other day. Now, in the 19th century, you had a revision of even that text, because Wellhausen dated the writings to be back in the J-text in the 10th to 9th century BCE, and the E-text in the 9th century BCE. In the revisionist idea, they revised to say that both of them were written during the Babylonian captivity, which would have been around 500 BCE, a good 500 years later. Mainly because they are ascribing the J-text to the southern kingdom of Judah, who didn't go into Babylonian captivity, and the E-text into the northern kingdom of Israel, which did go into Babylonian exile. Another reason why is because the E-text pretty much mirrors the stories told by the Babylonians, and so does the J-text, but in more detail. And so that's why it's dated to that time frame now, but it's just all a theory because no one knows.